I'm here. I'm here. My other screen was just taking a second to get pulled up that I try to I try. You guys will probably laugh, but I try to watch the live chat and then have the chat where I'm at on here. But then I got to mute it and all this stuff, and the dogs are already getting impatient with me. Hi everybody, happy Sunday. We've got a Sunday travel chat. We're just gonna call it that. We're not gonna do the fluffy fun puff feed or any of that silly stuff. We're just gonna call it the Sunday travel chat. And it's going to be relatively informal going forward. The dogs have already abandoned and traded. You guys got to get. We'll get you some treats here. Let's do some hellos and some treats and get this show started. We got a lot to talk about. Strangely enough, you guys are they're knocking things over now. Get on the couch. Get on the couch. You guys know the routines on the couch. Here we go. We got everybody coming in and saying hellos. I've been trying to say hello as you came in before the show, anyways. Hey, go. Oh, we already lost them. Treat down, treat down. Get on the couch. You guys get on the couch. One more, one more. Then we'll do hellos. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Did we get Paula in here? I see Auntie Cindy saying hi to Paula. She's upstairs watching Fiji videos. Uh-oh. I might need to do a cough drop again. I hate doing that to you guys. But with the hernia, I can't be coughing. And now I've got slobber all over my fingers, which means I now have slobber on this cough drop. Oh well. Here we go. Let's scroll on. There she is. She must have heard me say her name. Last in the house. No, no, no. Auntie was saying hi. So I was like, I think she's coming. She's watching Fiji videos. We're doing our Fiji planning. Talk a little bit about Fiji today. We've got a couple things to do with Fiji. We might even pull up a map of Fiji and kind of show you guys what we're looking at. But we've got a Kiva loan. You guys voted to have the Kiva loan that I make in Fiji. So we'll give you a couple options. We'll do it live here. Actually, as long as the screen doesn't go away on me, I'll refresh it so we don't lose it like we did last time. We'll give you some options. We'll vote on it here. We'll talk a little bit about Survivor because they're doing that in Fiji. And we'll talk Thanksgiving coming up, travel and all of that coming with Thanksgiving, Fiji, and a couple of other things. If Kobe's in here, I think he's out delivering it again, kind of multitasking. Lily says I was here the other day. LOL. You were here without us. All right, let's go do the hellos really quick here. And then we've got a whole page of stuff to talk about. But you guys know me. We just kind of go as we will. But we're in no rush today. No important football games. We don't care about the Rams and whoever they're playing tonight. So, anyways. Oh. The big news before we get to hellos. The Rough Riders won. The Rough Riders won. I almost forgot. It's been a week. We did an early live stream so I could watch the football game, and they won. So all the Toronto Blue Jays losing, and if the 49ers don't do well or the Warriors or any of that, that's okay. The Rough Riders won. We've got a successful year in the sports world, in my world. So we're very happy about that. I know nobody else even cares other than those in Saskatchewan. Uh, but for those in the US, kind of like the Packers. Of course, they got 32 teams. CFL has 9. But kind of the Packers market, which is owned by the fans and a very small market for the NFL. Saskatchewan Roughriders, smallest market, fan owned, that type of thing. So it's kind of cool. They do have the lowest Grey Cup totals out of the whole league. So it's even more fun because they're kind of the underdogs, even though they had the best record this year. Okay, enough about that, Nate. I see. Seahawks won today. Whoop, whoop. She says, I see that over in the live chat. Kind of sad for me. I don't know if the 49ers are going to make it in. And I think it's going to come down to that last game between the Seahawks and the 49ers. And if it does, unless Detroit or something starts slipping, they almost lost today. But I have a feeling it's going to come down whether the 49ers or the Seahawks get in to the last game of the season, which when that happens, you're kind of in a playoff game already. So it's kind of like making the playoffs in a way, and it's a home field game for the 49ers. So maybe we kind of sort of will have a playoff game even if we don't make the playoffs. I don't know. But if they win that one, I suspect, as long as they don't screw up too much, but I don't suspect they'll go too far because of all the injuries, especially on defense. All right. Lynn, how's it going? First in the house, Lynn Gannis. We got Pugs. Well, Floss. We all know Floss is Pug Sunset One. I can't even say the name. I just bit my tongue or my lip. Trying to talk and not cough. This is going to either be a mess or fun or both. I don't know. Brene was third in the house. Floss was second. We got Kobe out delivering, and he was worried that he missed us because I keep switching the time. This is going to be the time going forward, guys. It's kind of in that sweet spot between the afternoon games for everybody watching football and going out and about. You get home, and before the night games, unless I really just get to talking and go into the beginning of the night game. We got Naj in the house. Howdy, Naj. Good to have you here. Scrolling. Floss is saying hi to a lot of people, so I'm not ignoring all of that. Uh, scroll. We got Brandon. Brandon, I'm gonna have you. I need to talk to Brandon about getting him on. He's talking about doing his new business and scuba diving. If you guys remember back, it's been a while now, a few weeks. I was waiting for the hernia surgery, but we're gonna get Brandon on. He's interested in coming on, talking about the scuba diving and what he's doing with the business. I'd love to have you, Brandon. If you could shoot me an email, let me see if I have a scrolling thing somewhere. Here we go. Well, I'll grab it down at the bottom, and just shoot me an email. And probably next weekend I'll do a live, but everybody's gonna be on Thanksgiving, so somewhere after next weekend and before we leave for Fiji, like January 18th or whenever that is, somewhere there. Let's get you on whenever you have free time. Sunday nights at this time, we'll do it if you're available. All right. Oh, I lost my place. We got Auntie Cindy in the house. How's it going? And she's saying hi and hi, nephew, and hi, Paula. But Paula wasn't here yet. So, Paula, Auntie said hi. We got Alan in the house. Thanks for coming in, Alan. Always glad to have you here. We got, starting to scroll through names now. I don't want to get behind. I try not to, I swear. There she is, my exotic Canadian wife, Paula. We spent all day having fun at another market yesterday, and we got another market next week. It's Christmas season, and people are loving the candles. And to me, it's kind of our date day. We go out, we spend the day together. Yeah, well, right now I'm kind of useless because I can't carry anything. So she is by most means doing all of the work. I'm there to go grab a coffee or help where I can and give her a little bit of a break. She did. I'll pause on that though. The market yesterday was the slowest one, but she did sell, and I didn't even tell her this yet, but I think about half her sales were in the bouquets. And I think part of it was the bouquets were we had a table and then bouquets kind of up where then they have to come all the way in to go to the back. Although they are becoming kind of a pain to haul around for her, and things are, the more they get carried around, they fall apart and have to be put back together and stuff. But I think about half the sales yesterday came from the bouquets. And the other thing, I always get one thing out of all the markets that makes me smile the most. And the one was I've told her I think these, like the $25 bouquets, like in these little purses or whatever, are perfect for, like, when you get those holiday parties, and white elephant gifts is what we call them in the States. I don't, Canada, what do you guys call them? And right as asked that, I look over and Lily says frozen Canadian white. I think she's not answering that. But yeah, what do you call a white elephant gift? Or when you get together and it's like a gift exchange and you steal gifts and you open gifts and you get to choose, that type of thing. Anyways, those bouquets are right in that price range that most people set for those. It's usually $20 US, or at least used to be. And I think we've had one person buy them for kind of an exchange gift before. Well, one lady came and she took two of the best ones of the purses. But that's great. That sale alone kind of helps pay for like the entry into the market and whatnot, right? Even though I don't worry about any of that because Paula handles all of that. But it just made me feel good. Like, oh yeah, I knew somebody was going to want those for white elephant gifts, and somebody bought two of them for that purpose. And the reason I think that is they're very unique, right? And it's not something everybody has. Some people will like it, others won't. That's where you get it fun of stealing, and you kind of want a gift for those things that a lot of people will like, but you don't try to get something that's going to please everybody. People can share and exchange at the end of them. So nerdy Nate over here is just tickled pink that somebody bought them for that purpose, and that just made my day. That's all it took. Oh, I hope I don't get to coughing too much. Pippa, I know. They're like, Treats, Dad. I think we've used up all the monthly super chats from most people. So let's just give them one more right now, just to keep them settled down. On the couch. Here we go. And of course, we do have the treat bones. If we get, I don't know, 15 thumbs up, we'll give them the treat bones. As your friendly reminder, thank you for helping the algorithm show the show out. Although I think most people that come already know about the show, and that's okay. Scrolling. Paula says, hi, everybody. And Auntie. And woohoo, Riders. All right. She's taking a break from all her Fiji videos. She's just, I'll talk about it more in a little bit here. Seahawks won today. Whoop, whoop. We saw that. Uh-oh. I said that. Like, there's no treats or whatever. Everybody used their monthly super chat. They must be recycling. Paula's got hers saying, where's the tiny hiney? Is she asking me to show the tiny hiney? Oh my goodness. Get on the couch. We got treats to do. We got treats for the dogs. Get on the couch. Oh yeah, and we got that survey. We'll get to it in a second. Who did the better Aurora shot? Dallas or Pippa? Make sure you vote, because once we're done with hellos, we'll go see who wins that. I don't know. Do we give the winning dog an extra treat? That's kind of rough. Good girls. Oh, we can't seem to pick up. Oh, we got more. We got more. Treats all night long. We got treats. Have the monthly memberships must be renewing. It's that gold mine of a live stream for the dogs. Plus, we got a whole lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight, guys. So, like I said, it may very well be in an hour and a half show. No, Kobe, we're not going till midnight. Although, Kobe, while you're here, his credit card literally just got charged, and that means Kobe, is it okay if I pull up that video, the treasure hunt video, and we're gonna look look, oh my goodness, look for those numbers for a little bit. We're not gonna give it away. I just want to make sure that's okay with you, because technically I should have permission. Not that I think Kobe's gonna have a problem with it. I gotta get out of the picture, don't I? Oh, let's wait. We gotta. You guys can't even see the dogs when I have that up there. Okay, wait. Hey, good girls. Kobe loves you. Kobe loves you. One more. There you go. Good girls. Good girls. And Paula loves you. But they see Paula every day. Oh my goodness. I'm not even gonna get through the hellos. We got another super chat from Lily. I almost read it as a Lillian to the all professional and formal life. We got another couple treats for the dogs from Lily here. You gotta get on the couch. You gotta get on the couch. No, my computer was just dinging. Yeah, they're gonna be happy dogs today. On the couch, on the couch, on the couch. Here we go. We're gonna throw them this time. Woo! Uh-oh. Too much excitement. On the couch. Get on the couch. I got one more. Couch. Sit. Sit. We better calm this down. We got too excited. Now they're not behaving. All right. Thank you, Lily. Do I still have oh, here we go. Oh, StreamYard won't even let me play my thank you videos anymore, it doesn't look like. Let me try. Nope. The free plan comes with one example video. If you'd like to share your own videos, check out our upgraded plans. StreamYard also has like $50 a month for the upgraded plans anymore, where it used to be 20 and I would pay. Screw that, StreamYard. We'll figure something else out. All right. So just I guess pretend. Thank you, Lily. I can't. StreamYard doesn't let me play without paying. And I would be losing a lot of money if I was paying $50 a month for a StreamYard rather than just a free version. All right. Dallas, I know you got all the treats. All right, here we go. Let's keep it going. Renee says, go 49ers. Woo woo. I agree. Nate, either way, I root for the NFC West, right? And they are by far, well, what's the Detroit and Bears? That's a similar division. They're just as strong, but those two divisions are by far the best. Cream of the crop. Although some of the best teams can be argued are in other divisions. Do you have another one to go this year? I think you're talking about the Markets. We have one next week, and then we got a week off, and then another one, and then a big one. And then I think that's it. I think there's 3 left. Did I just say 2? I don't know. I think there's 3 left. I think it goes every other week from here on out. And she added this last week because we have a friend that does bakery stuff and had an extra table she didn't want. So Paula added it in this week. Otherwise, she kind of had it set up for every other week. Because if we do it every week, then it actually feels like a job. During the holidays, it's not a big deal. But I also don't want Paula to get sick of it. I want her to still feel like she's enjoying it, right? All right, here we go. There we go. Paula already took care of it if I would keep myself up to speed. Good to see you too, Renee. We're doing these on Sundays. I know we've been doing them, but people don't really know about it yet. So thanks for being here. We'll do. I have been skipping all over around on the times. We're going to stick to this time every Sunday. It's 6 o'clock here, whatever time it is. Out on the West Coast where you're at, it's probably 2 hours earlier, I suppose. Oh, scrolling. We got Papa Smurf in the house. How's it going? Is that Jeffrey? I think I can't remember your last name. How's it going, Jeffrey? If I'm remembering the correct person. I know, Lily. Those bouquets, though, I don't even know how you would. First of all, I don't even think she wants to deal with some of the stuff that she could, like the car diffusers and candles. Potentially wouldn't be terribly hard to ship, but again, it would kind of feel like work, right? If she's got to constantly ship these things out. But the bouquets, just logistically, it'd take a lot of work to set up a system. I'm sure it's possible, but I can't show my tiny hiney on here, dear. That did come up recently. I don't remember how. Probably inappropriate for here, anyways. The clouds are looking at. They're always happy. The dogs have had a good year. It's been over a year since Dallas had that seizure, and otherwise, generally speaking, other than kind of an off day here or there, or somebody might randomly throw up because who knows what they got into. The dogs have been super healthy, which reminds me, and I always said when Dallas was going through like major surgery every other year or year back-to-back years, if just get her to 10. I'll be happy with 10. Well, guess what, guys? Beginning of December, I believe they always do, depending on what vet you talk to, they change their birthday. But I believe somewhere in the beginning, I think it's like December 5th is going to be her 10th birthday. So I think I no longer think, oh, just get her to 10, go get her to 10. I think she has a lot of years left. She's been very healthy lately. But yeah, she's gonna make it to 10. I'm very happy about that. She's had and will continue to have a very good life. Just had a couple of rough years. Everybody's saying tiny hiney. All right, thank you, Brandon. Credit card just went through. I couldn't tell which was which of the dogs. I think 3.5 years of being a member. Oh my goodness. And what was it? I got a notification on YouTube that I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. I should probably be a bigger channel by now. But of course, especially over the last year or two, I haven't really been that focused on it. Well, we're doing it more though. I am going to do both for this and the other business more videos. I need to get into video editing and actually put into videos because live streams are fun. But it's one of those things like Kobe just had that video. I think he's over 500 now. And we'll get into that once I see if I got permission. But the live streams are kind of like you're here, you're not. Most people don't rewatch them, or at least not the whole thing. Where if you make videos, they can actually run for a couple of years, and they don't always. Sometimes they feel like a huge waste of time, but when they do run, they can really help the channel out. Can't do midnight either. Sure, matter of fact, I really appreciate it. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get to that at the very end of the show, guys. So yeah, we'll wait on that. I've got so much stuff. And I still gotta get caught up here. Thanks for the super chat, Lily. They're getting spoiled. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I started reading your name. Like, oh my goodness, it doesn't sound right saying Lillian. Lily. Thank you, Lily. People are on the right track. To help it keep fair for everyone, the winner will have to send me the word and the timestamps. Fair enough. I think I know where one more is, so we'll watch through. I'm going to point out one more. I don't know if depending on how we feel, we might watch a little bit more, see if anybody shows it, but I'm definitely not going to go through and try to capture all 8 on the live stream. I still want people out there trying to do it themselves. I don't want to, it's not quite a team sport, but we're going to push people along as long as I shut up and don't talk for the first 2 hours, never get to it. And whoever wins will get to be a special guest on the channel to explain their solve and the thought process to finding everything. It's actually a brilliant idea. I'll explain more if you guys don't know the video, but he did a video about a treasure hunt and did a treasure hunt kind of within the video. absolutely brilliant, quite frankly, especially if that's the type of watcher or type of video you're getting, that type of viewer. It's genius. Okay, I don't. Should I yell or something? It's a great time. Oh, wonderful! I hope it works for most people this time. Okay, so it was Jeffrey. Oh my gosh, I remember her eating the sock. Oh yes, Dallas. Oh yeah, when she got down to 40 pounds and yeah, 100 or 525 views now. All right. And well, part of that's probably because I went and looked at it a little bit more. I have watched it twice already, plus I keep pulling it up. I suspect when you do something like that and people keep going back to the video, that helps the analytics too, right? I didn't realize there was a uh treasure hunt within it at first till you post it. Now we're always going to be paying attention, like looking for all these clues to things that don't even exist in your videos. It does remind me, if you guys remember years ago when I was probably overly paranoid, and when I was started posting pictures on Instagram, I didn't want my pictures to be stolen. I was hiding my little logo in there. In one live stream, we went in and tried to find the logo type of thing. Kind of very similar to that, quite frankly. You're just hiding something within a picture, but in this case, it's within a video. Hi, Sandra. All right. Quick update on the hernia. Everything's good. That's all the update you need, probably. Oh, but Paula's out there and she keeps hearing me being like, where is my hernia belt for like the last 3 or 4 days? Look what I found right before the live stream. I needed my little tub that I put my computer on, and I had it under my work folio, if you will, and some papers. Found it. So now, hopefully, I don't have another hernia because I haven't had it, but now I can wear it again. There you go. And we had lost this book that I've been reading from the library a week ago. That was driving me nuts, and it was actually in with candle stuff. So when we did the market, Paula found it. So everything has been found that I keep. I lose stuff, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Don't trust me to keep track of stuff. Although Paula will tell me to at times. I'm like, all right. Okay. We talked about the market and the bouquets and all that. I'm gonna try to take this out now so I don't sound all silly and look funny. Although I still look funny, let's be honest. Um, the only other thing I'm gonna say about the markets for me, these little towns that we go to for some of these are like nothing to follow. But I'm like, it's a new town. I haven't spent time in this town, and most of these towns they might have a restaurant or something, but otherwise you have no reason to go to the town. So I actually get to kind of see around 30 miles out this way and 30 miles out that way. Or I guess I got to say kilometers. How many kilometers is that? Like 50? So a half an hour about drives is what we've been doing the last couple times. But well, I don't want to put the belt on now. I'm not showing my tiny hiney either, nor my belly. I don't wear it all the time. It would drive somebody nuts. But yeah, like I don't mind wearing it 50%, 75% of the days, but some days I just need a break from it. And then I put it places that I can't find it, and then I can't wear it. All right. Okay. So here we go. We've got a few things on deck for today. If I can, oh man, I might need to keep that cough drop in. If I can figure out how to share my screen here. Oh, Let's see if I can do this right. Oh boy, entire screen. We're going to share this one, and we need the audio. All right. So now you guys should be able to see Kiva, and we've done this before. You guys kind of know about it. It's this thing where you can micro lend out to other countries, and I've always enjoyed doing it. I like to make a $25 loan, which is part of like a $2,000 loan, right? But I only do $25. And they get funded, and it helps in these countries that otherwise don't have access to credit, that type of thing. And I always like to learn a little bit about the country as I do it. So I try to do it in different countries. Well, let's pull up. This was the poll we did, and it's not a big surprise. I kind of figured Fiji would win since we were going to Fiji. It kind of makes sense. One person voted for Indonesia. All great choices. All are ones that I haven't made loans to. So someday I will make loans to these. But for now, we are making one of these loans in Fiji. So here's how it works. I've got this filtered for Fiji, and we're actually just going to make the loan right here. I'm going to set up a new pool, and then we're just going to make the loan. I think it's just a few clicks, and we'll just get it out there. So it gives you a list of these loans that I can make or participate in, and I've scrolled through these a whole lot of them in the Fiji market, or well, country anyways, in Kiva, are for basically what they're calling these grocery canteen loans. So they just need some money to either restock their inventory or start a little grocery canteen in their village. So I'm just going to use this first one as our very first option. After I go through these, we'll set up a quick survey, give you guys about a minute. You guys will vote. We'll make the loan real quick, and voila, we're helping somebody in a small village somewhere in Fiji. All right, so this first one will give you the example. This is, I'll just pull this up real quick. This is Milyama, if I'm saying it right, if my internet works. So it'll tell us a little bit. Now, in the US, some of this information you would never see in a loan file. I know because I work in banking, but it does kind of talk about what the loan is for. A lot of this, as I read through some of these, is kind of copy paste. So they're all going to say they face many challenges at home, including financial struggles and responsibilities of supporting the family. That's that note I saw on every single one of these. Hi, Pippa. I know you just want other things. So with that, we'll take that's just somebody doing a little write up that says a little bit about it, but they're reusing that for a lot. Everybody's struggling, otherwise they don't need a loan, that type of thing. They've got family responsibilities. All of them say that. So basically, the big takeaway here is this person in total needs about $1,800 for the grocery canteen. You can see their picture and their name. They've got up here $175 more. So if we do 25, then it's 150, and then they'll get their loan. Although I'll show you in a second. Actually, let's just scroll down, and I'll show you now. And they've got 28 more days that it will be posted where people, and if they get to that funding goal, then they get the loan, right? So a couple of things I like to do when I go through and do this stuff is, if I wasn't already looking at Fiji maps all day, every day, I'd get to know where it is kind of geographically. But here's the interesting thing: as you learn some of this stuff, the Fiji average annual income right here is $5,000 basically in USD. Now, I put that in Chat GPT just to double check to make sure I'm not putting false information out on the internet. And I forget what Chat GPT said. It was something similar, although the numbers were slightly different, and it was kind of the average GDP number versus average income, but it all kind of jived somewhere around that number. However, ChatGPT also noted, but remember, a lot of these families are kind of self-sufficient or self-sustaining farming type communities. So it's not everything that they're living off of. They're somewhat living off of the land. If you watch these videos, cooking videos of how they do it in Fiji when they make this stuff, they're going out and picking a leaf and then wrapping it up and that type of thing. So, but it does give you an idea of the level of poverty or how affluent a country is that you're making a loan in. So that's interesting. The last thing I was going to point out, and the other options I show you, we're going to go through real quick because you've already seen basically everything. But down here, one of the interesting things with there's basically a lending partner that does all this, sets all this up. A lot of them don't cover the currency loss. So as a finance nerd, a lot of the times you'll make these loans and they'll repay the entire loan, but as the lender, my $25, I'll have a small loss on that because of the currency exchange changes during the year. This one's a 13-month loan, right? So if the Fijian dollar goes down or up, however that works, then you end up with less back. But this one, the partner lender actually covers the currency loss. You don't actually have that. If they pay it back, you get paid back, which is kind of cool. The other cool thing about this partner that they have is the funding model is flexible, which basically means I showed you they have this $1,800 they want to raise. They've got 30 days, whatever it is. And a lot of lenders, if it doesn't get raised, it doesn't get paid out. But you can see they're flexible. This particular lender is flexible. They've actually already made this loan. So how that works is this person got the money when they needed it to build their store or buy their inventory. And then people like me will come in and they'll fund the loan. The lender will then get that money put back into their loan pool so that they can make another loan. And it kind of keeps that lending cycle going. So it's an efficient way to do that. The United States has something similar if you ever get into revolving loan funds, where a lot of banks will donate into these loan funds, and they're supposed to, they don't always work how they're supposed to, but they're supposed to kind of be an alternative lending source for like commercial entities that might not meet traditional financing underwriting. They might have something weird, who knows what it is. But the problem is a lot of the people that actually underwrite for those revolving loan funds, they just apply bank underwriting and they deny everybody. That's not how that's supposed to work. But we do have something similar in the US. Um, Probably a little bit more formal. Okay. So as far as you're concerned, though, now that I've nerded out, kind of showed you everything, if we get back to this other page, you're going to have four options that you're going to vote on. The first option is, oh no, we lost them. Nope, I've still got my four options. They've just changed order. So there's a new one here. We're going to ignore. Sorry, Bernays, but Bernadetta, she's not going to be one of your options. So we've got this one that is for a grocery canteen. There's a whole lot of those, quite frankly, that are getting loans for that. Then we've got Acosita, and this is a $1,500 loan to. She's basically cooking things and then selling it in the market. Which, okay, let's spend a little bit of time on this, just because it's kind of cool. As I try to learn about the countries, right? They don't always tell actually where these people are at geographically. Privacy, I would kind of expect that they would. But this one, if you read the write-up, it says one thing I like about this particular loan is that she's had this business for 2 years. So it's not like they're trying to start up, and it just means you're more likely to get repaid, right? And all of this is out of the goodness of our hearts. You always realize you could get a loss, but it's nice to get repaid because then you can lend it back out and help somebody else. But she's been in business for 2 years, and she uses her culinary skills and then packs these food, and you see them here, to sell at this Navua market. Most places won't, or most of these loans won't give you a thing like that. So if we put in Navua in Google Maps, we can kind of get a feeling. I don't think it'll pull up the actual market that this food goes into. Otherwise, I'd be like, Paula, let's go eat some of that food, right? But we can actually see where this town is in Fiji. And I better be careful because I could go up into a whole hour geography lesson on Fiji now that I've been studying it so much. But this is the main island of Viti Levu. We'll scroll out. Okay, we can scroll out real far. Australia's over here, right? New Zealand's down here, Indonesia's up here, and we're out in the Pacific Ocean. Now here is kind of Fiji. This is the main island with the capital and everything. There's another big island up here, but a whole bunch of small islands, right? So the airports, there's kind of two cities that matter. I don't want to say that matter, but that matter on this island. Nadi over here is where all the tourists fly in to because it's the main international airport. Suva down here, if you see that, that's the capital. So Navua, if I'm even saying that right, is kind of close to the capital. So you're kind of you're down the highway, maybe 30 minutes it looks like, because that whole loop's about 7-hour drive. So you're within 30 minutes of a major population center. Also gives a chance for the loan to get repaid a little bit more. So I thought that was kind of cool. And one of the reasons that I like doing this, because you can kind of learn about the country. Again, I've probably said that a couple times. So that's that one. That's going to be your second option. And I promise I'm going to do the third and fourth options real quick here. So the third option is going to be for Salome. She needs sewing supplies, and she makes clothes. And then your fourth option is going to be Mir, who is a fisherwoman. And she was somewhere there, I couldn't quite figure out. They put a location somewhat vague, but somewhere near Suva as well. And she's trying to support her family by fishing, which is, you're in an island chain. That's very common out there. So I'm going to go through here and set up a survey for you, and we'll have it up for a minute. Anybody that's in here right now will vote, and then we'll just make the loan real quick. So your first option is going to be for this grocery canteen. Second option is going to be for this baker that sells into the market. Third is for sewing supplies for the person that makes clothes. And fourth is going to be for the fisherwoman to support her family. Before I do that too much, now how do I do this? Well, I don't know how to pull up on here in StreamYard where I'm looking right now, but the survey I had at the beginning of the live stream, or the poll, I'm gonna have to close that down, obviously. So let's go through it real quick. Dallas won, but it was close. Dallas got 60% of the vote. Pippa got 40%. So that night when there was a couple nights when everybody was taking Aurora pictures, I could not believe. Wait, Paul, I haven't put the poll up. It's going to be formal. Okay. So, anyways, you guys have seen those pictures. So, give me 1 second. We're going to set up a new poll so I can do this, because if I just try to tell in how you guys put in chat, I'm not going to do it fairly. So, give me 1 second. I'm just going to say Kiva loan options, grocery canteen, food supplies, sewing materials. I can't type now. And the last one is fishing equipment. And start. So as long as I didn't screw that up, which is always a possibility, let's be honest. Let's go ahead and see that. I see a couple of you guys talking about fishing equipment for the fisherwoman. So let's pull this one up just in case you guys want to know a little bit more while you guys are voting. There's a 1,700 bid. They're all about the same price loan, and I'm doing my $25 donation to the loan, if you will. She's living near the coast, and this was I tried to pull that up. It seemed to be by Suva. There was a bridge with that name, and then there was a subdivision by that name near Suva. So I'm assuming it's near the capital somewhere. But neither one was quite coastal, like it says. But anyways, she's an enterprising fisherwoman. She relies on her daily catch of fish to support her family and provide fresh seafood to local food markets, which Paul and I will get to eat. Who knows? Maybe we will eat her fish. Maybe we'll eat the other lady's baking goods, whatever it is that she was doing. We've actually been watching them bake in Fiji and their technique. Everything's so different over there, right? I'm not even going to be able to think of the words because they're all different. The words are just different. The thing that is kind of like a potato, but it's different. I don't know. And of course, then they wrap it all up in a leaf and boil it in water or in the fire, and it's pretty cool. I'm sure at some point it'll probably be Paula that'll have a video after we do our trip, and maybe we'll catch some of that. But we're also not, at least I'm not doing it for YouTube. We're gonna enjoy our time, and if some videos get made out of it afterwards, so be it. So let's see here. We're gonna keep it up here for a few minutes. We do have, holy cow, we've got so much to cover tonight, but that's okay. I'm seeing 8 votes are in. Okay. I don't know how many people we have in here right now. We'll leave it up for maybe another 30 seconds. 50% of you, 8 votes are in. 50% of you are saying fishing equipment, 25 food supplies, 25 grocery canteen. Okay. Good. That means I probably don't have to break a tie here. And I'm going to go ahead, unless I see more votes coming in. You guys can see what I'm doing here, actually. We're just going to say Lynn now, adding to basket, continue to check out. I don't think this gives any of my personal information out. They do. Okay, so if you haven't done this before, they do ask for a donation at the same time to cover Kiva's operating costs. I only do that every once in a while. They do have some very wealthy people that help them fund the software, right? Because there is software and these lender relationships that they have to have. So they do try to encourage you to, and I do every once in a while. Okay, so $25 to, well, they cut her name short now, but Mir in Fiji. Double check, no votes, more votes are coming in, so we're gonna call it good, complete order. And I think that should be all there is to it. Let's just let it spin for a second. Plus, maybe it doesn't want my money. Is my money no good to you? All right, so perfect. So I think she needed $175 more, so now she'll need $150. And she has 30 more days. So I guarantee you that all of those loans that I gave you will be funded from the progress that they were being made. If you ever do it and they don't get the money and they don't have that flexible funding, you'll just get your money back and you'll go and try to put it to a different loan. It's kind of sad when that happens. But I always like to, if I'm going to take the time to research them, I like to actually be looking at ones that are actually going to get the loan made. All right. I've still got that shared. I think I've just got to pull down for a second. So where are we at? So that was Kiva in Fiji. So that loan will get made. And then I've still got another $25 in my Kiva account. So we'll do that again in a couple more months. We'll make another loan maybe for for a different country. I don't like doing the same country over and over. All right. I did say doo-doo. I was hoping nobody caught that, Kobe. We had 11 in the chat. 3 are off cooking dinner or doing whatever they're doing and listening and having it run in the background. So thank you. Well, now we got 10. Let's do this. We've got, I don't know how many thumbs up, but we're going to give the dogs their treat bone now because they've gotten nice and relaxed. And I'm going to be talking for a little bit and chatting with you guys. And you guys are going to be giving me your opinion on stuff. You got to get on the couch, Pippa. Usually a stylist takes a while. Sit. 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 Pippa. There you go. Wait. Wait. Okay. Good girls. All right. All right. So let's actually pull this up real quick. We'll tell you a little bit where we're at with planning Fiji. We've gotten some of the, well, we've got the plane, we've had the trip, a lot of it paid for, whatever. Now, how did I do this? So here's Fiji, and this is, like I said, Nadi is where the main airport is. This is pretty much where everybody flies in, although they've got smaller airports that you can then fly out to if you want to go to a different island and such. But without going too much into everything, so we've got the flight in booked, and then we've got one night that's going to be kind of near Nadi, right in town, kind of sort of, on the beach somewhere. I forget exactly where. And we're going to take the first night. We get in at 5 or 6 a.m., but we're going to spend that day. It's a long travel to get out there. We're going to just kind of take it easy, get the lay of the land, go get some, backup food, because you're up in islands. You don't really have when you get out to the islands and such, you don't have a store you can just go to, right? You get meal plans and whatnot, but so we'll get some snacks, we'll get some water, that type of stuff to make sure that we don't starve while we're out on the islands. And then so we've got one night, the first night there, and then we've got three nights down on kind of the Coral Coast. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly where we're staying, but kind of down here, this area is called the Coral Coast. So it's got a lot of the nice beaches and snorkeling and such on the mainland, if you will. So that's as far as we've actually booked. But then what we're likely going to do, that's going to be about 3 days. And then we're going to take 3 or 4 days. And then we're going to go out here to the west and we're going to go to an island. And there's kind of 2 primary ones. There's this chain right here, which is the Yasawa Islands. That's where a lot of especially the nicer resorts are. And then down here, just a little closer off Nadi, are the Mamanuca Islands, which I actually need to spend more time looking into. What these are known for is, if you look at like Tavua, I think it is. So, okay. So you can actually see some of these. You guys have heard Survivor, right? Survivor often films in Fiji. Well, right here you can see on the map, Survivor Camp Area 2. I think Tavua has other Survivor camps. So you can actually kind of get an idea when you watch Survivor, which we do. We enjoy the show depending on who's on it, but this year, especially since it's in Fiji. So you can kind of see they're out here. They are in the Pacific, but they are not terribly far. If somebody has a medical issue or something, that they're close enough that they can get them in within an hour of a boat ride, probably something like that. But the other thing out here that you see is the Castaway Island. That's where Castaway was mostly filmed. And then if we go up to Yasawa's, and Paula, I was messing this up when I was talking to Paula earlier because I was thinking Castaway was filmed up here. This is what was it called now? Blue Lagoon. Back in the 80s, I think. Blue Lagoon was mostly filmed right here on Turtle Island. So it became a tourist trap. And so if you stay on Turtle Island, it's like $2,000 a night or something ridiculous, which is one of the cool things. You can literally do Fiji where you're spending thousands of dollars a night, just on the hotel before food or anything. Or there's, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull into one here real quick, but there's a lot of these homesteads. There's ones where you can kind of stay with people, and there's basically hostel type ones. Well, if you get into the hostel ones where it's like a shared room with 8 other people, it can be down to like $20 a night. Now, they're not the nicest, but I could totally see if you're 20 to 30 and you're traveling alone, that would be amazing to be able to go to Fiji and only spend $20 a night, be staying on the same islands as people that are paying thousands and thousands of dollars a night, right? And here you are, maybe a kid out of college or whatever you're doing in life, and you get to go to Fiji and have that same experience. Now, that with $20 a night, if you want to do anything, you still end up having to pay to go do things, and even the boat ride out to these islands. The one we've already booked is like $65 per person just to get to where you're going, and then $65 back. Although I think that's in Fijian, which is divided by 2.25, I think. Anyways, the other really cool thing that Paul and I have not decided exactly what we're gonna do, but we've seen this in a lot of videos. This Sawalau Caves. Check this out, guys. So these are caves inside this very mountainous island. And look at these walls straight up, but that's inside the island. And here is, well, that's a video. Here's how you kind of pull up, your boat pulls up and you go up these steps and then into that little cave, right? Now, I don't think they've got, that's the island itself, basically straight up. That's the beach nearby. There's the steps again, and that's the main cave. Now, I don't think it's in Google Pictures or whatever, but if you get into watching videos about this place, you go into this main cave, and to get to the other caves, you literally have to swim underwater. That's the part I don't know if I could do. I would probably freak out about that. Oh, I should probably end this poll because now people are still voting. All right, got food supplies. I actually was thinking the food supplies one. So, anyways, so then I would have been actually made it a tie. So that's why I kept my mouth shut. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough. I might need another cough drop, guys. So, anyways, now this one, even if we stayed out on those Yasawa Islands, then you've got to hire a boat and then probably a full day to get out there. That's where it's like, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it, maybe we won't, but it would probably take a full day to get there. And if it's just that one cave you can go into, it's hard to justify. If you can actually swim, and I can get myself and Paula can get herself to swim through the tunnels into the other caves, it'd be pretty cool. Kind of freaky though, huh? So, hey Debbie, don't forget to pack your ankle brace. I am not bringing my ankle brace. We will just, nope, we're not gonna jinx it. I remember doing that when I was first packing up, and I said, "Do I take it?" Packing up with the trailer when I quit the job, sold the house, was packing the trailer. I think there was the guitar, there was the really good ankle brace from when I'd broken my ankle, and I think it was Ray that said, "No, you don't bring it because you're gonna jinx yourself." And now I'm repeating that. And then what happened? I was up in Michigan, and I could have really used it. I had to buy a new one, but no, we're not gonna bring the ankle brace. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, and okay, last thing on Fiji here. Talking about, if you guys are watching Survivor, I'm not going to talk too long about Survivor, but if you are, oh my goodness. So there's like these three people, Rizzo, I wrote them down somewhere. Rizzo, Savannah, and Soph. They've been on the bottom of the food chain, but they've got these powers. And this Rizzo kid, who quite frankly, he's getting kind of cocky for my taste. At first, I was kind of rooting for him. Now I don't know. But he's had the idol or whatever, the protection idol. What do you call that? The immunity idol. He's had it for like 3 weeks, and he's kind of been a target for 3 weeks, but he somehow sways everybody to go a different way. And if you watch Survivor, so many people go home with the idol in their pocket, and this kid keeps not playing it, and it has worked for him 3 weeks in a row. I thought last week was gonna do him in, and somehow they went for somebody completely different. And I just don't know how. It's like, if you keep pushing your luck, well, if he's made that decision 3 times in a row, if they target him next week, unless he's somehow figured out, got a take on how they're actually going to vote, which if you watch Survivor, people don't, right? They get blindsided all the time. So, anyways, the guy that worked in DC who was kind of playing both sides, he went home last week, which I would have honestly told you early on was probably somebody I thought might have won, because he could kind of build those relationships all around rather than just one group. But it kind of hurt him at the end. All right. So I've been talking. Let me scroll up and see what you guys are saying, and then we're going to talk about what you're doing for Thanksgiving, because it's Thanksgiving week in the U.S. Let's see here. I'm not gonna try to read every a potato. No, okay, so I know it's something like a potato, but it's not a potato. Paula might be able to tell me what it is. I was kind of in and out um of when she was watching the video upstairs. Oh, there was when Debbie came in and I was just talking, but I did catch another comment. Scrolling. Still need to try that show, but on my list for years. Survivor? Survivor is one worth watching. Now, I got to be careful because Jack and Kobe, you don't do Wednesday nights, do you? I know yeah, and I used to do live streams on Wednesday, and it was a very good night for live streams. I just don't in the middle of the work week anymore. But when I was traveling, mostly traveling, it worked pretty well. But yeah, I like talking about Survivor, but I also don't want to make everybody go watch Survivor while Jack's on. So I don't know. I guess people will watch what they want to watch anyways. But Kobe says, Wilson, we're getting excited, especially as we start booking more and more and watching more and more. The only thing is, Paul and I met in the desert and run. She had what 3.5 months off, and I wasn't off, but I was traveling basically for 3 years, and then came back and got married in Mexico. Right, that was kind of my first year back in Canada. We went and escaped to Mexico for I think we were down there for 10 days. And then last year we did that 40-day or so trip down to the Gulf, whatever Gulf you're calling it these days. Um, and then this year we're gonna go. It's gonna end up somewhere between 10 and 12 days that we're actually there. Plus you add on days before and after for traveling because we're going so far. That's a 2-week trip basically to Fiji. But now that I'm starting this business, got to actually start making money with the business and stuff. But I've thought about this a lot is how lucky are we, even if we don't get to go somewhere quite as crazy for a while, uh, to have 3 crazy trips like that in 3 years in a row. We're pretty lucky. So, and if I would get my act together and make money with my business, then we could do it again. Yeah, you can go from just your younger person on a budget traveling in the hostels and shared community spaces, which if you're traveling alone, kind of makes it less lonely, right? And from the people that do it a lot, I guess they meet and they eat with people all the time and all sorts of stuff. If you got that outgoing personality, it works well. Even as an introvert, I think I could, but I'm past that age by a lot. Plus, I have my wonderful travel companion, so I don't need to do that. Homestays, that's what it's called out there. So when you look at a map and it says homestays, is that where they're actually you're staying at their home or is that a hostel? I think I've seen both. But anyways. How much FedEx paid for that promo? Missed something? Good question. Oh, Kobe's added it to his bucket list, but maybe not because of us, maybe some friends. So, okay. Are we gonna go swimming with sharks? The one thing that there are a couple places you can go swimming with sharks. We have not planned, we haven't gotten that far of other than we know one island that we're gonna stay on. We know we're gonna snorkel. We especially with our wedding snorkeling, we both love snorkeling. It's amazing. One of the reasons we want to go to Fiji is because it's got amazing reefs and snorkeling. And we're looking at hotels where we can just walk outside and go jump in the ocean and do it. Even closer than we were in Mexico, right? Because that was a big resort, so you still had a little bit of walking to do. Some of these places are like the one we booked it's called the Burr on the beach. Yeah, it's like your front doors, you can see it and just walk out and then go jump in. Now, some of them that I've been looking at, especially when you get out to the Yasawa Islands, you kind of got to enter one particular point and then kind of break out. You can't just go anywhere on the beach or something like that. But in some other places you can. But as far as the sharks, there are places you can go swimming with sharks. I think safely. The one that I actually looked at, that was like, oh, I guess you could, and it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't crazy expensive. You had to actually snork or scuba. I just don't know And they said in it, you don't need to know how to scuba. We'll show you how. And I did scuba at our wedding in the pool, like they would show you to try to get you to go do your certification. And I struggled with it at first, and then I calmed down. It's like, okay, maybe I could eventually, but I would need a lot of practice. I don't want to like have that discomfort of trying to breathe and not have it down and then go down and swim with sharks. If there was somewhere I could snorkel and just look down and see the sharks, I'd do it. As long as they told me I'm relatively safe. 99% safe. I'd go out there or in a cage if you could do a cage. But the one that I've seen, you got to snorkel, and they say you don't have to, and you probably are just kind of jumping in, going down, come back up. But I don't know. And those were big sharks. I mean, we're not talking little sharks at that point. That one I'm talking about were big sharks. Yeah, we're gonna find out. I am not. I'm not ruling it out. I don't think Paul is gonna do it. I don't know. I'm looking at the chat now to see if she would, but I would if I could do it and snorkel or be in a cage. I would consider it, but we're not going to go and spend a whole bunch on an excursion every day, right? We do have to have some limits. So then the second part is, can you do it? Get over that, like whether scuba or not. And then you've got to look at what are your alternatives for different excursions and how you want to spend your fun money, if you will. Like I showed you those caves. That's probably not going to be cheap, not crazy expensive. You got to buy a boat or share a boat out there and then do it and have a tour guide and whatnot. Now, the cost for that you aren't. It's not cheap, but it's not astronomical, right? But we'll see. We are not bringing the ankle bracelet. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think what I would do if something did happen with my ankle. You never know. We'll figure it out if something ever does happen. There are hospitals and whatnot. You just have to jump on a boat and now now I'm picturing it in my head, thinking if we're out on the Yasawa Islands, right? And Nate goes off and breaks his ankle somehow or gets dramatically hurt. Just picture the ankle. And I'm thinking when I break my ankle, you're trying to hold your leg up as you drive to the ER or whatever, assuming somebody else can drive you. Um, Now I'm picturing doing that on a bouncy boat on the wave, trying to keep your ankle from hitting something. Even if it did hit something, it hurts, right? That would the ankle bracelet till they set it isn't gonna help. Lily says I would not be diving and swimming. Nope, never. Ah, it's one of the things out there that's why you go to Fiji though, right? There are other things you can do, like there's ATV explorations. You can go safaris and into the jungle, and there's volcanoes and whatnot. But one of the things to do in Fiji, you're in an island. It's kind of like Hawaii. You want to be in the water. Now, if I could actually scuba, I'd scuba, but apparently there's world-class ways for. I was watching one video where they booked the Marriott, I want to say, on the west coast of. I'm going to say the island name wrong, but they booked because straight out from that point, there's like a world-class wave that surfers from all over the world go to ride that wave. I don't know. For Nate to go full-time nomad to married and living in Canada where they get freezing cold temps and lots of snow, you never know. Very well, Paula is a very special woman, right? Well, we already knew that, Colby. We were surprised it's only $20 a person. The hostels? No worries, Bernay. Hey, we got Linda Barker in the house. How are you, Linda? Good to have you. We're just, well, you know me. I'm just talking a lot about Fiji. Well, I'll get back on. I'll get back focused here at some point in the future, near or far. Scrolling. If you go swimming with sharks, bring the bubble suit. I don't think that's gonna help. Now everybody's saying take the ankle brace. You know what I would be willing to take? I would take an ace bandage. That could fit. I could make room for that. I don't plan. I plan as far as what I'm packing. I plan to pack Probably a beach towel that's big enough for me. Water shoes, sandals, and my shoes, which I'll wear my tennis shoes or runners, if you will. Um, a lot of swim trunks, maybe 5 pairs of swim trunks, and maybe 5 shirts. Isn't that good enough? It's going to be, I mean, it is rainy season when we're going and cyclone season, if you will, but it's still going to be 80s and humid, 90s, highs of 90s on some days and humid. And I'm already going to have to wear a jacket to the airport. So I'll have a jacket if I get cold. There's no way around that if you're traveling from Canada. I imagine you feel real silly carrying that around Fiji during the hot season, but I won't break anything. I'm pretty much I'm pretty solidly built. How do I say it without sounding egotistical? No, I break pretty easily. I know, but we still don't know how I broke some of the breaks. So a bowling ball could have fallen on my ankle for all we know. if I didn't remember that, that'd be pretty bad. Okay, Floss said I'm not allowed to, so I won't. But only because Floss said it. Now and a lot of the hotels, when you look through what is included in the room or whatever, a lot of them will say a first aid kit. So and W says, yeah, sunscreen and bug spray. Reef safe sunscreen, of course. Because yeah, I don't I just hope, especially in some of these places like Cozumel and Belize and Australia, the Great Barrier Reef and Fiji that have these amazing reefs, they're already in enough trouble that yeah, you can't go cheap on the sunscreen when you're swimming out in those wonderful places. You just can't. I'm sure people do, but or else. Yeah, there you go, Lily. Yeah, reef safe sunscreen. All right, so we got Thanksgiving week this week for the non-Canadians. I don't know that we're celebrating. I'm not gonna go back to my dad's or nothing, but most of you guys are from the U.S. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Are you and just type it in chat? Are you flying somewhere for family? Are you driving a good distance for family? Or are you just staying local? Doesn't mean you're not going to. That just means you got family locally, typically, right? We used to when I was a kid or younger. When we lived in the Bay Area, we'd drive down to kind of the LA area, go to my grandma's, and then on Thanksgiving Day, then we'd have to drive across the LA basin through all that traffic to a cousin's or whoever was hosting that year. So we had travel down, then traveled through LA traffic that day, then travel back, excuse me, through and then travel back through. And all of it's bad. And the reason I'm asking is they're saying it's going to be I don't know who they are, by the way. Somebody smarter than I. They're saying it's going to be the busiest travel Thanksgiving in the last 15 years. I wrote it down. 73 million folks out there traveling around between airplanes and driving. 73 million. What's the population of the US? Like 300 million. So a lot of the country is out on the road. So people like Linda, you're lucky. You don't have to go out in it. And I do think from what I've been reading that after the shutdown, I think it's one of the reasons they got the shutdown done when they did. Because I don't think anybody was really happy with it that was pushing the shutdown. But they were not going to be able to do that shutdown through Thanksgiving with how bad the air traffic controller situation already was. So it sounds like that is mostly going to have been resolved, even though it's taken a while to get back on all of that. But it's still Thanksgiving travel at the airport. I was looking weather wise, that's usually the headline, but weather looks pretty good. I don't see where my notes are, but I mean, generally warm, although there's going to be a jet stream coming down from Canada. You're welcome. But no major blizzards. There's the small areas. Kobe, Upper Peninsula is getting lake effect snow. Erie, Cleveland, that area might get some lake effect snow. But none of the major airports. Detroit would be the one I'm worried about. But it doesn't look like Chicago or Detroit are going to be majorly impacted by that jet stream. So luckily, if you have to fly, it should be relatively smooth compared to other years where you guys know how it is. If Denver, Detroit, where some of the major airline hubs are, Dallas. Well, Dallas doesn't get blizzards, so American Airlines, their hub is usually pretty safe. United in Chicago, Delta in Detroit. If either of those two hit in Thanksgiving time and get lake effect snow around that time, everybody's stuck, right? And I don't think there's any strikes out there anywhere. So I think I think it's gonna be pretty good. So let's see what you guys are doing. Linda's staying home. Kobe says, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Growing up, I was looking forward to moving out so I didn't have to celebrate Thanksgiving. Because he didn't want to. Kobe doesn't like turkey. Actually, you know what? I don't like turkey either. The only thing I liked about Thanksgiving is you do get to go see your family. And it's one, they do it back to back. I disagree with how the states do it. And I know there's historic reasons for it, which I don't know. Do we have to how the whole thing went with the Native Americans? Should we really be sticking to that? I think Canada has it right. I think October, good time of the year. Everybody's done with their summer trips. Kids are back in school. They're ready for a break. But Thanksgiving in the U.S. 1 month from Christmas, and that's like when everybody gets to travel and see their families. But it's like back to back. Spread it out a little, right? Or maybe we need to move something more towards March or April. I know we got some. I always mix them up. Not Labor Day, Memorial Day. That you could, but the major ones that people go see their family, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Jeffrey is staying home cooking a meal for 4, but that means you got some company, right? Going. Floss is doing it right. She doesn't have to cook. Picking up a friend and going to an all-you-can-eat buffet for $20 a person. I like that idea. Paula's scared. What is Nate gonna say? Because we never know. You guys saw last week. I got started on some stuff. Don't even. I won't go down that hole. Um, Lily staying home warm and cooking for 2, not 4. You and Sandra don't hang out at all, or is that the 2? But what about? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna forget his name. Uh-oh, Nate's in trouble. Lily, what's your husband's name again? I had. Is it? No, it's not Adam. That's Debbie's son. Kobe is working a 12-hour shift. He's making money. He's like, this is a business opportunity. Hey, if you don't like Thursday, you may as well go make money off of it. I like it. They better. I hate my family sending me daily updates laughing that they still don't have snow. Oh, they better get snowed in. No, I did see Upper Peninsula is going to get slammed with lake effect snow. There's just no airports up there that it's going to affect in ways when Chicago or Detroit gets it. Let's see here. Hope the weather is good. And I'm trying to remember. You're actually near Chicago, aren't you? It's an hour drive one way to pick up our friend, then going. So when I was watching and looking at the map, it's kind of going the Upper Peninsula. It didn't look like it's going to hit Chicago and then kind of up over Detroit and then down towards Cleveland and the Erie area. Don't put things. I mean Thanksgiving, but actually, I'm just gonna say it's one of the things that Canada does right. No matter how I say that, it's gonna sound bad. They do a lot of things right. The states do a lot of things right too. But having Thanksgiving in October, and they also spread out their holidays. There's like there's a day off every month, basically. And if they don't have a holiday off every month, they say, okay, provinces, go have a holiday, and you'll have like Saskatchewan Day, right? You'll have Canada Day, July 1st, and then you'll have Saskatchewan Day, August, whatever. They do it so you get a break, an extra day off, a long weekend every month of the year. There's not one month. Tell me if I'm wrong. I see Tracy and Christian in here now, or Paula. There's not a month that doesn't have a holiday where you get a long extended weekend, correct? It's brilliant. Where in the States, they're all clumped together. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Martin Luther King Day, right? All squished together. Anyways. Hey, Daryl. Good to see you, man. Fan City Adventure. If I remember right, last time I looked at your channel, it is taken off, man. Congratulations. And forgive me, I'm having cough drops because I had hernia surgery and I keep coughing, and we don't want me to go in surgery again. I ate Thanksgiving dinner, but it's too much for my body when it's cold outside to do much of anything. I actually went for a long walk today because it was, I think, 46 or 47, which might sound cold. But when you compare it to, I think then it goes to like 22, and within a week, it's just cold. Like the highs won't get up to freezing anymore. So, yeah, we're to that point. So that's probably why Paul and I are like, we're just gonna watch videos of Fiji and pretend like we're warm. Scrolling. Oh, you guys are so fun. There they are, Christian and Tracy. Hey, Nate. And I need to go watch more of their videos, and I don't know if I've shared it here, guys. So they're in the same boat, or same boat as Paul and I, were monetized and everything, but kind of laid off the pedal. And now they need to get remonetized, and they're doing live streams again, I believe, on Friday nights. Ava Potterfield and Friends does Friday nights, and I think Tumbleweed RV Life does Friday nights. So if you want to go watch their videos, watch their live streams, run a playlist as you go to bed. If your computer's in another room, just make sure your volume's a little bit up, because they got demonetized and now they need to get those watch hours, I believe, is what they need. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. But they're also, they were, when I was down in Texas, they were in like, was it Missouri? Yeah, you guys were going to the zoo out there, I believe. So they've got a lot of new adventures to watch as well. I don't know where they're at now. Are you guys going back down to Cabo this year? I've heard, actually, that's one of the things I was going to, well, not Cabo specifically, but yeah, I was looking at the travel news or whatever, and a lot of talk about Thanksgiving, holiday travel, and all of that. But the Canadian travel, there's a new Canadian travel advisories for Mexico, Peru, Chile, and Italy, which are all really cool places to visit. And so if you're going to any of those places, make sure you check Canadian travel advisories, Secretary of State advisories. I've made videos on them, how to do it. Just make sure if you're going to any of these places, if you're going overseas, make sure you check that. Check in with your Secretary of State, let them know where you're at. There was also, like, I didn't write it down, like terrorism threats if you're going to Thailand, I believe, which I know we've talked a lot about Vietnam, I think, and Philippines. I don't know if we've talked a lot about Thailand on here, but the one other thing, I'm gonna start going through my list a little bit quicker. One other thing that I was gonna alert you guys to, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to eventually, as I balance the new business and the YouTube, I always want to make kind of some videos and some data analytics on how to maximize kind of your travel rewards, right? So like Paula and I, our flights from LAX to Nadi and Nadi to LAX are basically all covered from American Airline points I had, and kind of how to do that, right? What credit cards to sign up for if you're going to go that route, how to build them up, what programs are the best. Well, some of the stronger programs with as far as rewards credit cards go, they typically do have higher fees, but if you travel, they more than pay for themselves. But some of them, like Chase Sapphire Rewards is the one that comes to mind. Some of those high-end ones that you can really, especially if you're just signing up for, they changed some rules in the US that nobody really completely knows how it's going to affect those really high-end rewards cards. And what changed is a lot of those cards go through Visa or MasterCard, and all of the merchants had to pretty much accept them. If you accepted Visa or MasterCard, you had to accept these high-end cards, even though they cost the merchants more to accept. They've changed that. So now merchants like Paula, if you have a candle business and you're like, man, these fees from MasterCard and Visa are killing me, I'm only going to accept the lower ones. So you might find, so it becomes a little trickier. Do you really want to go sign up for a card that's going to get you a lot of points? But now you're going to be more restricted on how you can't use it everywhere. We don't know that that's going to happen, but it is. I think soon going to be. It's already passed, but it's soon going to be an option for merchants everywhere to say, no, I'm not going to take that card. They charge too much. Though on the merchant side, it's really interesting because they're typically higher end, more affluent customers, people that travel a lot and use those high value rewards cards. So do the merchants really want to say, no, we're not going to take that card, because are you going to lose sales on it? And they're going to have to find that balance. But if you're thinking about those cards, and I do need to make some videos about which cards to use, which ones are the best, which ones, how to build up, and which programs are the best, right? Because IHG with Holiday Inn and Marriott are very different. Those are the two I use. And you get into Hilton's and you get into airlines. They're all kind of different, but now they're going to be even more different. And you think kind of like American Express and Discover, right? They've become more widely accepted over time. But 20 years ago, when I started getting credit cards, I had a Discover. My dad loved Discover. They give great customer service, but they weren't always accepted. So then you needed a Visa card or a MasterCard to kind of fall back on. Well, now, American Express still isn't accepted everywhere. Discover typically is. Um, but you can't necessarily just have the fallback if you've got like the. And the other point I will make on that is American Express won't actually be affected by it. It is only going to affect cards that are MasterCard or Visa, because American Express has their own kind of exchange, right? So when Chase or some of these other big credit card companies make these rewards programs, and they partner with hotel chains and airlines and whatnot, but they're still using Visa and MasterCard's exchanges, right? So the transactions still have to go through MasterCard and Visa. So all those partners that are kind of building these programs don't have control of that. American Express, on the other hand, has their own, the transactions go through American Express, and American Express owns the credit card. So they own both parts of that whole environment, if you will. Discover, I believe, I'm not completely sure, but I believe Discover works the same way. And of course, Discover just went through a big merger with, I think, Capital One. So Discover's, and Capital One always went with Visa and MasterCard. So now those are all through the Discover network and accepted where Discover is accepted. So if you're thinking about that, I will probably, once they come out with more concrete what the effects are, maybe make a video on that. But it's actually very interesting. One, because it's banking and it's travel, both areas that I'm a nerd in. So yeah. Square works, yes. Yeah, Square will take all of them, but the vendors can choose not to take some of those higher end cards that are going through the Visa and MasterCard networks now. I don't know. I know it's passed. I don't know offhand when they actually can trigger that change. So I don't know that it's actually it's passed, but I don't think in effect anybody's seen any effects from it yet. Is anyone else's screen black? Well, that would be problematic. Can I get some ones if other people can still see me? Square charges a small, yeah. Yeah, if you work with Square and all of those, you're familiar with those behind the scenes fees. They start adding up quick, and the government has kind of started pulling them in a little bit more, and giving maximums there's different fees. There's like a standard set fee, and then there's a percent fee on top of the base fee. It can be very complicated. But Square, I'm gonna stop what I'm saying because I'm not completely sure, but I believe. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say what I think just because I don't want to say something and be wrong about it. Um, but yeah, Paula uses Square for her candle business, right? So she doesn't even need the little Square thing anymore. She just takes out her phone and they tap her phone. I don't know how any of that works. I just know if they've got the chip on their card, they tap the phone, voila, money shows up. As long as the internet doesn't cut out. We've had issues with that in one particular market that the building, I don't know. Let's see. everybody else's screen is working. I'm sorry to hear that, Brandon, but thank you for pointing that out just so we can make sure that it's not on my end. Um, maybe it's better if it's just a black screen. Should I just go off screen? No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that to you. You don't want to miss the silly hats from the Cayman Islands. And I mean, next year we'll have to have a Fiji hat, right? We'll have to, there's probably three things I probably need to, Paula or I, or both between us need to buy in Fiji. One, I will need to buy one of my bucket hats with Fiji, right? Now, we didn't get one from every single spot on our 40-day trip because that would just be ridiculous, but one per every major trip. So I'll need to get my bucket hat that says Fiji or whatever, and I'll probably overpay for it. Then we always collect these little turtles. These little turtles from shoot, we started buying those in the desert. I think she gave me the two first gifts I think she gave me was fruit snacks, which won me over completely. And you guys have heard that story because I always wanted them as kids, but we couldn't get them, right? And so I told her that story, and then she showed up with fruit snacks, and I just fell in love. And the other was a little turtle with little glasses, and she forgot she had even given it to me. And years later, I still had it. She was like, "You kept that?" I'm like, "Yes, I kept that." And so we buy these little turtles, and we got little turtles on our shelves, and so we'll have to get sea turtles out in Fiji. So I'm sure they'll have them at their little markets. Turtle, and then we'll have to get a towel. We'll have to get a Fiji towel, right? Paul, am I missing anything? I'm sure we'll get more than that. But to me, those are kind of the three things that we kind of buy. Now, on our 40-day trip, we got the towel. I think we got a couple of them. Did we get Corpus Christi? So we went to Cayman Islands. We went to Jamaica. I don't know if we bought anything from Jamaica. And then Cozumel, I don't think we bought anything from either. But then we went to Corpus Christi. We were at so many places. We would have wasted a lot of money if we tried to get it from each place. But we got to get those three things on each trip. We go to multiple places on one trip. We don't got to get it from each place. That's my rule. Anyways. Okay. I want to make sure. Scrolling. Floss says she adds the fee to the total price they pay. Yeah, you can do that too. And a lot of online merchants now, like I was booking stuff for Fiji today, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna get, because you're using a card, you're gonna get 3% on top of all of that. And when you're some trips, that starts to add up on top. And then and then of course when you're traveling, people don't think about this. Every municipality in the U.S. anyways, I think Canada is the same, and apparently Fiji is too. They like to do hotel taxes or tourism taxes or convention taxes or resort taxes. Sometimes they like to do two or three of those, right? So you'll see a hotel for say $100. Now let's make it easy. But then you end up with a bill that's like, well, everybody loves the locals who vote those people in, don't complain about any of those taxes because outsiders have to pay them. So you end up with these ridiculous taxes every time you travel, every time you book a hotel room. But I'll tell you what, one of the great things about the rewards, like when you get your free nights with your credit cards and whatnot, you don't pay for the hotel and you don't pay any of those taxes because 40% of zero. So it's one of those things that people don't think about when you get those free hotel nights and whatnot. You're not just saving the cost of the hotel, you're saving all those ridiculous fees that they're trying to ding you, and you're building up whole cities with all these hotels and convention, like Florida with Disney and everything, resort fees. Oh my goodness, they will have municipality taxes. It might be from the city, the county, the state. I mean, you could get dinged from all different levels of government, and then you get resort taxes, right? Or convention taxes, whatever they call it. So you get percents of your hotel, then you get these $100 base convention or resort fees, and it's just out of control. But it's never going to change because the local voters are never going to complain about it unless their tourism really gets bad because of it. But Daryl says, yeah, can use phone. That is what Caden uses when we are at the shows. The only thing I don't like about that is then when Paula leaves, I'm like, I gotta be like, hey, give me your phone. Give me your phone. I need your phone. And I try to let her do all of that. I think I have run one or two through myself. It's not terribly hard, but Um, used to have to. Oh, interesting. Used to have to take the protector off the phone to use it for tapping. I've always seen Paula do the front of the screen. I don't know if that makes a difference versus if you had it turned over and you have a cover on it. Maybe. Never thought about that even. I would never do that. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about now. I've lost context once again. I got myself too far behind. Lily says, Nate, do you have a tattoo yet? I've always had a tattoo. Have I never told you guys or showed you? I'm sure my videos, um, at some points, I'm sure you can see my tattoos. I don't have crazy tattoos. All I've got for tattoos are a couple of stars that I drew back in the day that I said that's why they're not very pretty tattoos because it was really me sketching one night when I was bored. And I kind of like it. It's a star that it goes like this and like this. And anyways, it's not really ending the way it's drawn, but it's a rough sketch. I was like, if I ever get a tattoo, I'm going to do something like this. This is what I would get, and I'd get it on my shoulders, right here, kind of like that. Um, and then in college one day, my buddy and roommate, he was working at the liquor store in town, and he wakes me up one Saturday morning and say, "Hey Nate, will you come with me? I got to go out into the farm, the farms in the country to get a tattoo." It's like, what? Weird thing to be woken up to. He's like, yeah, and I just don't know. He learned a tattoo in jail, and he said he's gonna give me a good deal, and I just want somebody to come with me. So I was like, all right, I'll come with you. What the heck? And but when I left, I grabbed my little sketch. I said, oh, what the heck? We'll see. And sure enough, I ended up getting a tattoo that day from somebody that learned it in jail, and all he did was use my rough sketch. They are by no means perfect, but yeah, those are my tattoos. I don't I was never. Sometimes I like tattoos on people. It all depends on the look and the person and whatnot. I've never had a big draw. My sister always wanted to have tattoos, and she has I don't know how many. She's not covered in them by any means. But she has more than I do. And she was the one that was, I want to have tattoos. And I was like, maybe, maybe not. And I've got a couple, but I don't have a burning desire to go hurt myself unless there was something meaningful that came up and that was like, the people that remember family members or such like that. Um, but I'm lucky not to have any of those causes for that particular thing. So but yeah, I have them. I don't necessarily hide them, but they're there. The funny thing is if I put on a white shirt for, like, my white shirt over here that I've actually been doing live streams on for business, if you looked real closely, you could see the tattoos through the shirt. I don't worry about it even in a professional setting. When I was a bank examiner, I think I was, like, one of 2 of us in an office of 40 or 50 people that, if you ask people, would have tattoos, so it was a little bit out of the norm for what I did, but yeah, taxes on top of taxes, and then fees you gotta pay. What they probably do is you got your hotel fee and then add your resort fee and then add the percent tax on top of both of those, right? That would yeah, it's ridiculous. You freeze for a few seconds at a time. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Taxes, taxes, taxes. Who got me started on taxes? I think I get myself worked up, don't I? What I don't understand is why I get charged extra for paying my phone bill for using cash. Well, then they've gotta pay for security for the cash and the cash deposits. You nothing's free these days. Not even paying is free anymore. It does get a little bit ridiculous. Okay, would you ever get another tattoo? I would. Nah, probably not a paw print. I don't know. I probably wouldn't get one for a dog. Okay. You need a small turtle tattoo. Oh, I might just do a mural on my back. No, I don't know. Okay, so I have been talking, 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 and we are not done yet. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. Let me check my list. I am gonna. I'm going blind, guys. I need to go get glasses. I haven't needed them. I got my LASIK when I was about just over 30, and I'm 43 now. And they did say, you know, it's good for 10 years, and then after that, who knows? And sure enough, yeah. I blame looking at the computer too much. I think now that I'm working and staring at the screen all day versus when I was traveling, I was still scared staring at the screen a lot, but I'd go out, do hikes all the time and whatnot. So, all right. So last thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna have a little fun with Kobe's video, I think. Let me make sure. Yeah, let's do this. So actually, I don't think I ever stopped sharing my screen. I think I just changed my layout. So yeah, you guys still see that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just do this for a little bit. We are not gonna try to solve the whole treasure hunt or puzzle, I guess is a good way to phrase it. But Kobe's got a very good video out there. 25 minutes. I thought it was gonna be too long, but it actually was done very well. You guys have heard, and I'm gonna mess up the names, but you heard about this guy back in the day. He was 80 or something, and I don't know if he buried, but he hid a treasure somewhere and told everybody, "I've hidden a treasure, and here's some clues." And people would go out and find it. And eventually somebody did. And I don't that's I think when I saw it on the news and why I was vaguely familiar with it. And then somebody else went out and hid something else, right? So Kobe and they did kind of the same thing. They had clues and such that people would try to figure out. And I think it's still out there as far as I know. And Kobe doesn't. I'm assuming still thinks it's out there because he's still looking for it. But anyway, so there's not poems, but clues that he made this whole video on the background of the first treasure and now this other treasure. And he's got map overlays and all sorts of stuff. And when I started watching in the first 10 minutes, I was like, I think Kobe might have solved this thing. I still think that place that he's looking might be the right place. And you just gotta, I mean, it's still a big area to cover, right? And if you go looking for one day, you're probably not gonna find it the first day. Okay, so Kobe is saying the original treasure was found in 2020, I believe, in Yosemite. I do remember you saying it was in Wyoming. This new treasure is based on the original. So that's the whole concept behind this thing. So, anyways, Kobe made this video on this current treasure hunt, and he went out looking for it. But within the video, he made a puzzle or treasure hunt, if you will. And so at the beginning of the video, he talks about I forget the puzzles where you have words and then they basically are letters that spell out something, right? So that's the gist of this. There are 8 two-digit numbers hidden throughout his video that is being watched. He's only been out there for a couple weeks now, if that, and it's over 500 views. A very good video. I suspect it's going to continue running and help help out his hours a ton. Um, but it's actually very intriguing to and brilliant, quite frankly, to in a video about treasure hunting and solving puzzles and that type of thing to have a puzzle built in within it. So, anyways, he has kind of given clues now as nobody has solved it, and so he gave us one answer. So this is a post from Kobe's page, and then I'm gonna go to the video and show you, and then we're gonna spend a little bit of time, not a ton, but we're gonna go see if we can find another. Okay, so there's 8 of these hidden within the video, and he's given us the first one. The first number, 31, can be found at the 55-second mark of the video. Now, that 31 then goes into a cipher. Once you have all the numbers, then it goes into a cipher and it spells out a word, right? You would have to figure that out on your own. He explains the cipher at the beginning of his videos if you do go find all these numbers. So we're going to find this 31, then we're going to let the video play for 5 minutes, and everybody's going to watch. We're going to watch and see if we can't find another one. And he did give me permission. Can I make this it will help you guys if I make this full screen. There we go. So right here, now I want you guys, if you see my mouse, watch over here. Remember, there's going to be a 31 we're supposed to see, and I'm right before it. So I'm going to play real quick. Let's get
to properly
right there. You see it? Not very obvious at all. So you really got to be paying attention, and that's just one of 8. So he's given us the one.
explore this.
And it's gone. And it's gone. Now, I will tell you, I have found one. So we're going to play. Where are we at? We're at a minute in, basically. So I'm going to play it to the 5-minute mark. I promise you there is another number hidden within there. And when you guys see it, Oh, now as I'm saying this, Kobe, you're getting ahead of me. If you start it from 55 seconds and let it run for 5 minutes, you will have at least one. Yeah. Okay. And that's the one I have found. Okay. Right now you don't see it. Okay. I'll start over, Lily. Let's go right about here.
One connected to the original. And this time, I was ready.
To properly
Okay. Do you see right here on the far right side of the screen, about middle way up, on that light background, there's a 31. Do you guys see that? Does anybody see it? Let's see if anybody sees it. If nobody sees it, it could be on my end, me playing this, and it's too small or something. If you're on a phone, it's probably going to be very hard. Paul, are you saying you don't see it? Nobody sees that. Well, Kobe, that's maybe why nobody. Can you guys see my mouse? My mouse. Or maybe I need to do my mouse on my other screen. Right here, guys. That's probably why you guys weren't seeing my mouse. I was doing it on StreamYard. Right there. If you guys can see that, I see a 2. Okay, Paula, do you have your glasses on? She sees a 2. Okay, Floss, it's going to be hard for you. You're going to want to turn your phone sideways and then... Okay, Lily saw 31. Okay, so it is there. It's right where that mouse is, if you guys can see my mouse. We're going to run it only for 4 minutes. There is another number in here. And I will show you. If you don't see it, I will show you. I don't think Kobe's in, because I'm only going to give away one other. And then if then you guys will have a whole quarter of this puzzle. And I haven't gone out and found more. I might have to solve this thing myself. But all right, so we're going to run this for 4 minutes. And if you see it, Kobe says somebody has found 4 numbers. Okay, so we're going to play this. And then after this, everybody in here will know 2 of the numbers. The first number is 31.
explore this treasure, we must start at the beginning with Finn.
Forrest Finn was an art dealer from Santa Fe,
Actually,
New Mexico,
this will help too.
who hid a treasure chest filled with gold and jewels somewhere in the Rockies. His home held
The living room
to
tree
its
covered in
location,
Paula's
and
says.
for over a decade, thousands of
So it
people
was there,
searched
okay.
for it, including the author of
They're
There's
not real
Treasure
obvious.
Inside, John Collins Black, aka JCB. With the original treasure found in 2020, JCB was able to get several items from it and hid them in his treasure, which was ultimately inspired by his years of searching. Perhaps the most sought after and controversial item being a sealed olive jar from Finn himself. This jar holds an autobiography from Finn, but with Finn passing away a few months after the treasure's discovery, some claim it may hold a confession from Finn that he had secretly ended the hunt himself. When JCB received the jar, still sealed shut from wax, his curiosity piqued and he opened it. Now being the only person alive that knows the jar's contents, JCB has stated that he was surprised by what he found inside and that there is in fact more than just an autobiography.
This is personal for me, and
Now one thing to think about when you're watching for this. Now the similar backgrounds where he hid one. So would he hide another? Potentially. Some of the things in his video are very busy. Like when he's showing the maps. I haven't asked Kobe where these are. But when I went to look, I had about 5 minutes before this live stream. I was putting all this together to see if I could find one. And if you go through his video, you can tell where it'd be kind of cruel if he hid these little numbers on some of the very busy maps, right? But when you get on shots like this that aren't moving and such, those are where I suspect he's hidden these, right? Maybe they will move though.
this is my shot at redemption.
So undigging my autographed copy of Finn's book from all those years ago, I once again read the poem I once had memorized as though my entire future depended on it. As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where, and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk, put in below the home of Brown. From there it's no place for the meek, the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads and water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to seize, but tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. So why is it
Alice,
that I
lay
must
down.
go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answers I already know, I've done it tired, and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to my gold. While this old poem isn't needed to solve where the new treasure is,
Well, I'm kind of a jerk. 1 second. I need to fix something or you're not going to see this, guys. I don't mean to be playing tricks on you here. I put this ticker down here for Brandon earlier, and it was going to cover it up on you guys. I didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to pause it right here. Okay, I didn't mean to give it away, but because you guys weren't going to see it because I had that ticker on the bottom of the screen. Okay, you guys see down here? Put it in chat if you see that number. Type that number in chat. This is at basically the 4-minute mark. I was going to make you guys try to catch it and go to 5 minutes, but then I realized on my other screen I could see it, but you guys would not be able to. What's that number? There we go. We got Brandon got it, 73. All right. So there you go. You've got the first two, 31 and 73, and that's kind of there's 6 more, and then you'll either, Kobe, tell me if I'm wrong, you're either gonna get his recent book or the memoir of the one of the 2 guys that have hidden these things. So either Kobe's book or the other. I think you get the choice. You want to come up, Kobe? 3173. Okay, I'm gonna drop the link for Kobe here. I think he wants to come up, and then once he explains this, then we're gonna call it a night. Because you guys know me. It's been more than an hour and a half. I do start to lose a little bit of my energy. Grab that, unless you're delivering right now. Go ahead, grab that link. Yeah, Floss, I do think, and Kobe might have to consider that for future ones. They're pretty tiny. I don't think I would try to. I don't think I would try to do it on a phone. I I caught this on a computer, but he did not make them obvious. He is making you work for it. I'm just gonna wait a second to see if he comes up. If not, he does. If he doesn't come up, guys, he does, I believe, explain the cipher at the beginning of the video. We'll wait a little bit. Okay, here we go. We got him. You ready? See if I remember how to do this.
It's
How's
been
it
a while.
going? Yeah.
Doing good.
Well, we did a live stream on your channel not too long ago. Couple
Yeah.
months, maybe. Yeah. All right. So explain the cipher to everybody. Once they find these numbers, you've given them one, I've given them another. And
I'll
somebody
need
out
your-
there already has 4, and they've been looking.
Can you... I'm trying to think of StreamYard. Can you pull up the video still with both of us?
Yes.
And then if you scroll to the beginning of the video where I kind of... It's right at the beginning. You'll see the cipher pop up. It's based on old telephone numbers, basically.
never leave you. When I was a kid, I was always fascinated by mysteries and ciphers. I had
Look at that
even
drone
made my
work.
own cipher with my sisters.
Okay.
Okay. So the cipher is based on old texting patterns. So growing up, me and my sisters, I was kind of on the verge. I had new technology, but old technology. So for example, if you wanted the type B, what would you do? You'd press the 2 button twice, correct?
Yep.
So basically what the cipher is the first number tells you what tile to look at. The second number tells you what letter it is with on that tile.
So the numbers that we have are DQ.
So the first one is D. That's correct.
What was
But
I forget what was the second? Oh, 73. Sorry, DR.
73. So DR. Those are the first 2 letters. And people have, after 3-4 letters, knowing that it's 8 letters long, they've been able to kind of figure it out and send me the word, which is why I'm now requiring people to verify with timestamps that this is where we found the numbers.
Fair
Way
enough. Fair enough.
for everyone.
Okay. All right. So there you guys go. You got 2 of the 8. If you guys are interested, Floss or Kobe, would you recommend doing this, even trying it on a phone? Or the letters or numbers gonna be too small? I had never thought about that, but that's something good to think about.
What I will say is I did all the editing and everything on the phone, but again, I'm the one that hit everything, so
Right.
it's really tricky. I think I made it a little more difficult than I anticipated, but the fact that there's basically since I released those clues yesterday, I've had quite a few people guess the word correctly, but they haven't found all the timestamps. That's where I know, okay, the best one, they have 4 found. So I know it's doable. I just don't know if they're watching TV, phone, how they're going about it.
Gotcha. I just think that the numbers are pretty small. If I was looking at a phone, I probably wouldn't, with my bad eyes now, especially. But
It is.
I would. Yeah, I'm not saying this could be impossible, but yeah, I would recommend if you're gonna do this, and
Yeah.
you have access to a computer, I would probably recommend doing it on as big of a screen as you can get. Get it on the big screen. Debbie's gonna have Mark and Adam looking at the big screen, finding the numbers. Okay, man. I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing down.
So
It's been fun. Thanks for letting me share this. I thought it'd be fun to try to get a
Thank
couple
you.
other people looking at this thing. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.